All right, I'm alive and well and back from my sedation. Dude, I got sedated so hard. Oh, let me tell you about these wonderful two little blue pills that they gave me that were not Viagra. They did the opposite of exciting oneself, and they put me in a slumber, dude. I gotta tell you. It's the first time in a year that I had zero worries, zero stress, didn't have the weight of the world crushing me down as I've been trying to move out of my house and renovate a farmhouse and all the stresses that come along with it. These two little blue pills, they wiped it away. Now I got to go get more. I don't know how to get prescribed. Apparently, you got to have insomnia. Is that how you say that word? Dude, I'm still a little loopy, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Still a little loopy, dude, but they knocked me out. I was worried because when I went into my consultation yesterday, they're like, all right, well, you need a root canal, but it's possible that this tooth could have a hairline crack in it. And if that's the case, we got to stop, get out, clean out your nerve endings. Ooh, shudder. Ooh. And then I'd have to have the tooth pulled, which I could not let happen. I could not let happen. I swore to myself since I was a young, chubby little lad that I would never be a toothless man. I was like, I will not be a man with missing teeth. And this tooth is right in my smile line. It's right next to one of the fang tooth, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dude, not happening. I would get a fake tooth. I told my wife, if they do this, like, obviously I'm going to get a gold tooth. And she said, no, that gold was not allowed, that I would have to do a white tooth. And I was like, you're no fun. And then I stomped out of my room. And I said, I'm not putting away my G.I. Joes. You can do it. So, but they don't have to do it, man. I took these pills. And I was just, I was like Coolio on a fantastic voyage. And then got it done. Like, they went in there, did their thing. I was in and out of conscious. Dude, it was the least painful tooth situation I've ever encountered because I was basically in and out of consciousness. So then when I'm done, I got to go. Like, I live outside of Omaha, like an hour. You know, my parents live somewhat in town. So when I was done, I was like, all right, I got to go. You know, I'll sleep at your house for a little bit, and then I'll head home. Bro, I laid down at like 5:16. That's the last thing I remember. Then I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. Oh, dude, haven't slept like that. And I don't even know. I can't even tell you when. It was beautiful. Now I understand Michael Jackson. I understand where he was coming from. I get it. He just wanted some deep sleep, and he had the money to pay for it. So he was just like, inject my body with the goods. And that doctor did, and he just did it. He did too much, or he did what Sony told him to do. We don't know. You know, that's alleged. That's alleged, but me and him, we're on the same wavelength. I understand. I understand his desire to want to be knocked out and his desire to want to be white. I don't know. I don't know if he really wanted to be white or not. Just thought it was funny. Calm down. Calm down. Yep. All right. Today on the show, we're starting with the latest round of the political circus. And, you know, then we're going to talk about, I don't even know what that means. What is the American circus? I think we're going to talk about how they say MAGA's favorite comedian is also starting to turn on Trump. That's what they're saying. That's what the headlines are reading. Then we're going to talk about Thanksgiving and the American tradition known as the cousin walk, where half the family sneaks out to smoke some weed. Smoke it. Smoke it down to the blunt, put it out in the shoil. It's Cottonmouth Kings. And then we'll talk about a wild story in Maine where a mom is fighting the courts to take her own kid to church. And then the Fugees, man. This dude from the Fugees, Praz, he just got slapped with 14 years in the slammer for illegal campaign donations connected to Obama. 14 years for a campaign donation. And that is wild. I gotta stop. I don't know if I like saying the word wild, but I might find a replacement. It'll take me all weekend, but I'll see if I can do it. And then in New York, an elderly man shot a would-be mugger in self-defense, and he's going to prison because, well, this is America where math is fake and consequences don't make sense. And then we're going to talk about Jelly Roll, so about him losing a bunch of weight and shaving his face. So, yeah, baby. And then who knows what's going to happen. So many things in between that. You know it will. Let's jump in. All right, so Shane Gillis thinks President Donald Trump is approaching Biden brain, which is such a good phrase. It just flows off the tongue, rolls off of it, sounds fantastic, and it's hilarious. So Shane speculated on the state of Trump's health in his new episode of Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. This was on Thursday. And they said, Matt asked, you think he's getting dementia? And Shane said, I don't know. He just seems a little slower than usual. There's speculation that T-Dog might be rocking Biden brains. T-Dog. If that's not a Gen Z slang, then I don't know what is. I like that. I think I'll end up, I won't call Trump T-Dog. Thought about it for a split second. Ain't gonna happen. So he's definitely not at Biden brains yet, Gillis replied, but he's circling the drain. He's circling the drain, dude. And so I wanted to bring this up because I think it's messed up, man, that they're calling him MAGA's favorite comedian, dude. That's not fair. He clearly just makes fun of whatever he thinks is ridiculous and whatever he thinks is funny. But that I've noticed the same thing with doing stand-up and comedy in general. It's that if you make fun of Democrats, like if I went up and did a show, and in that show, the only time I made fun of politics was the Democratic side, people would automatically think that I was a Republican. They would just assume after the show, they would be like, oh, that's great. Then other people would be, pissed, or especially if you do something online. Because then people can really comment without making the eye contact. And that's when they feel the most safe. That's when they're in their safe space, when they feel like they can talk the most shit, if you know what I mean. So that has happened dude, like when Trump was first running back in 2016, it's insane that we've been dealing with 10 years of just this political showcase. This absolute political show of just madness with the back and forth and the Trumps and the oppositions and the Antifas and the whole gambit. But dude, I was making fun because I don't like Hillary Clinton. Who the hell likes Hillary Clinton? You got to be nuts, right? So I was just making fun of her a ton, and then people are automatically like, "You're a Republican." And I'm like, dude, no, I'm not, man. I am apolitical. I don't even vote. That's right. I did not vote in the last election. And people will give me shiz for that, dude. They will give me Snoop Dogg's word shiz. Shizzle. And it's not fair. Because this is America where we have the right to vote. It's my right. So I can choose to do it or I can choose to not. It's my body, my choice. It's my mind, my choice. It's my hands that cast the ballot. My hands, my choice. And I chose not to participate because I didn't want either person. So that's where I stand. And I like to make fun of Democrats, and I like to make fun of Republicans. Like how I think that Donald Trump does fit a lot of the criteria for the Antichrist in the Bible with his love of gold. I should do a whole thing like that. I mean, I'm just, I got a lot of documentation. I write a lot of notes. All right, I don't even know what the word is. I like to study my surroundings. I don't know how to put my weird obsession into words of categorizing documentation about the areas in which Trump could possibly be the Antichrist. Even though I don't really think that he is. If anything, it'll be like Trump will be horribly betrayed. Something will happen. Maybe he'll die or he'll just fade out, but he will be betrayed. And then his son, who is, get this, 6'7", that's right, kids. Suck on that one. Enjoy that. Do the 6'7" with your hands. Yeah, Baron Trump. Coincidence? I don't know. I'll put that in my documentation. But it's like Trump's horribly betrayed, and then Barron just seems like the perfect candidate for a possible Antichrist. He's super tall. I think that the Antichrist would want to be super tall. You know? He looks good with his hair slicked back. I think the devil would slick his hair back. And he was raised in a luxurious gold apartment overlooking the New York skyline. And then, just all the other things. So then he rises up and then, he has to, seeks revenge for what they did to his father. And then at some point, gets possessed by the devil and then it's the end of the world. I mean, that's a possible scenario. It's a possible scenario. Does it make, do I feel insane saying these things? No, man, look at the world. You like to look at the world and speculate on what's happening and what could happen. It's what makes being alive fun. So, but I think Trump's too old, dude. I think that he is, just like Shane just said, he's got the Biden brains circling the drain. And unless the possession by the devil would revigorate. That's not the right word, I don't think. Dude, I am still, my brain, dude, I do still feel like I am somewhat sedated. So just bear with me. Bear with me and we will get through it. So, give him a new life. Give him a new life force, a new life energy to rise up and betray the Jews and then enslave and kill all the Christians. I mean, he still possibly could get that bump. So, I have my concerns, but then also Gavin Newsom, I mean, that's just he's not even covertly. Another thing is with Trump is because of how many Christians worship him as the second coming of Christ. He's the second David, and that he is going to liberate and form a Christian empire on earth, which is not biblically factual whatsoever. So that's my number one reason of why is this guy the devil, because he's not a Christian. In my opinion, he doesn't have any of the qualities or the morality of someone that Christians should look up to. It just doesn't. And that's pretty plain to see, I would hope. But then you have someone like Gavin Newsom, who doesn't even call his wife his wife, calls it his partner, and has utterly destroyed California, and they're just going to thrust him into the presidency. And that dude looks like the American Psycho. He looks like the California Psycho. He looks like how the devil would look. The hair slicked back, the insane smile that looks like he wants to eat human flesh. And so, yeah, there you go. Democrats, Republicans. I just look at them all and I'm like, it's the devil. But, dude, it's not fair, man, because when you're a comedian, you make fun of one side. They're like, he's obviously MAGA, and then you make fun of the other side, and then they're like, he's obviously gay. So Yeah, it's a shame. And I say, Shane, don't let the MAGA crowd bring you down. Make fun of who you're going to make fun of. You're on top right now, bro. No one can stop you. Let your joke pin fly. Let your joke pin fly instead of freak flag. Man, my sedated brain is on fire this morning. No, seriously, it burns. I think I'm going to go. I'm just kidding. Dude, everyone's getting high, and it's somewhat of a shame, man. And I can't read this whole article, and I'm super pissed because I am not going to pay the WSJ $1.50 a week for a year. I'm just not going to do it. I want my news for free. And I don't think I'm wrong to want that. I mean, don't you? It's like, dude, I got to pay for this, whatever. But I just thought this was interesting. So this year's Thanksgiving surprise, half of the guests are stoned. What started as a secret trip to smoke pot before dinner has mushroomed into a full-blown commercial holiday. Behold the cousin walk, which is hilarious because, dude, I could totally have seen that. Me and my cousins back in the day doing the cousin walk, even though I have never in my life smoked weed on Thanksgiving. I mean, I don't. There's a long pause because I want that to be factual. How about that? So, yeah, dude. And then it went on. Ever notice that Thanksgiving dinner with certain members of your family return from walking the dog or picking up more ice? Dude, that is hilarious that they say picking up more ice because that means I'm not alone. Me and my buddy used to tease our friends all the time and being like, oh, what'd you go do? Get some more ice? Like, that was our thing. Like, you going to get some ice? And that they put that in this. I'm not the only one. I'm not alone anymore. So, but the other thing is, it's just a shame that everyone's high, you know? Because it makes you just a little bit weird. I mean, I just don't think families should smoke weed together. Am I crazy for saying that? I've just always thought it was weird. Like, growing up, having, like, a friend who, like, as a teenager would smoke weed with their dad or parents, I just thought that it was very, very bizarre. And maybe I'm from the 1950s. Maybe I'm a little outdated. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not the same as having a beer. And now you're probably turning on me and saying, yes, it is. Weed is good. It's medicine. I don't know. There's some studies that are coming out that it destroys your testosterone and shrinks your brain into a shriveled gray mass. So we just, if the world didn't suck so bad, if the world wasn't so hard, if we didn't need vices to get through this world, then everybody would just be sober all the time. But it's like, life is just a wreck, dude. It's so tough to get through. At the end of the day, people are like, give me a bottle of Wild Turkey. I'm going to blow my brains out with it. Light a blunt. I got 5 on it. That is a great song, by the way. It just makes me want to recline my driver's seat at a 45-degree angle and where my eyes barely see over the steering wheel and out the very bottom of the windshield and just cruise around blaring that music with so many blunts. It's a good song, so I don't know. Are you going to smoke weed on this Thanksgiving with your family? I mean, who wants to be around grandma or grandpa stoned out of their mind? It's not a way to live. Unless your grandma's like, I got that glaucoma. Man, I feel bad for this mom in Maine because she just wants to take her daughter to church. But the father doesn't want her to and says that it's causing her psychological harm. And He won. He secured an order from the Portland District Court giving him the exclusive power to decide which religious activities his 12-year-old daughter, Ava, may participate in. What's so insane about this whole thing is that, the mom and the daughter have been attending the Calvary Chapel, Evangelical Christian Church in Portland. I guess there's a Portland, Maine, for more than 3 years. After Ava told her dad last year she was planning to be baptized, he went to court to stop it. I mean, this guy, talk about being possessed by the devil. I mean, this dude just riled up and went to court to stop a baptism. I mean, even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't like Christianity, you have to admit that there are very good moral principles that are taught within Christianity that you would probably want your kid to be instilled in your child. And this dad's like, never. Never. He's like, if I'm going to hell, my kid's going to hell. We got to blockade it. So he's saying that she started having severe panic attacks and exhibited alarming psychological signs like leaving notes around the house that said, the rapture is coming. Okay, so she might be going to the wrong church. Now I don't know whose side to take. How about the dad goes, no, you're not going to go to an NRA church. You're going to go to a regular church that teaches sound biblical doctrine and that doesn't think that there's a secret coming of Jesus before the final coming of Jesus, i.e. the rapture. But I also think that it's hilarious that she's leaving notes around the house saying the rapture is coming. Dad's just scared. Doesn't want to go to hell. Yeah, so it's a charismatic church, man. I get it. There's so many bad churches out there. So this is just, this is a tough call. Maybe if he's like, not that particular church, but I want you to go to another church, but not no churches, period. If I was the judge, I wouldn't know what to do. I guess I would have to find him a good church and send him there. Anti-religious order. However, okay, so let's see here. Let's see what they do. Chapel Church was found that the church's pastor was a charismatic speaker, spoke authoritatively in his messages, and asserted his messages were objective truth. And they said that it is like a cultish, is what he said. So the court found that the teachings and depictions used in the church's services and youth materials, including images of fallen angels and messages about eternal suffering, had caused psychological distress to the child. The judge found that Emily is a fit parent except for the fact that she is a Christian. The judge mocked Ava and Emily's faith by purposefully refusing to capitalize the word God. These heathens! These goddamn pagans! They are damned. Oh, man. I don't know, dude. This is a messy situation. I don't think that they're teaching sound biblical doctrine, but I don't think that you can forbid by the court that the kid go to church. This is why divorce is bad. These people are never married, by the way. They never got married. They just had a kid together. So they're not even divorced. But the judge refusing to capitalize the word God, like, whose morals are you going based on? You know, it's like Christianity, you have a set of like morality and you know, obviously like a lot of governments, you know, for the past 2,000 years is based off of the Ten Commandments. And this is just a crazy situation. And this person said something they have never seen. They've never seen a judge mock a child's faith and then capitalize the word God. This is going to make this church even more powerful, by the way. And them even, you know, and strengthen their faith. I just pray they'll get out of the charismatic NRA movement. They'll find a church that teaches sound biblical doctrine, and everything would be good. And the judge ruled that Emily could not take Ava to any churches unless Matt approves. And Matt has steadfastly refused to so this guy won't even approve any church. Shame on him. Shame on you, Matt. So the unusually sweeping custody order went far beyond mere church attendance. Ava cannot associate with any of her church friends or any member of Calvary. No, this is insane. This is insane. She can't even have friends that go to church. Who is this judge? Ava cannot attend any Christmas, Easter, or any other Christian events or celebration at any church, including any wedding, funeral, or even hospital visits. Who is this? Is this the devil? Is Matt the real devil? It's not Trump. It's not Gavin Newsom. It's this Matt guy. God, does he spell his name with 2 T's or 1 T? If it's 1 T, we are in trouble. Okay, it's 2 T's. Ava cannot have any contact or participation with any religious organization, which would include Salvation Army or a food bank, homeless shelter, or crisis pregnancy center. Put her in a cellar. This girl can't do anything but live in a cellar. Huh, Matt? Is that what you want? You want your daughter to grow up like Kimmy Schmidt or whatever her name is? Is that the name? The redheaded chick that lived in the bomb shelter and came out? You know what I'm talking about. You know. Dude, put her in the cellar, bro. Ava cannot read the Bible or religious literature or be exposed to any religious philosophy. Damn. Yeah, so they're saying that told the justice in the district court findings fell short of the required constitutional standards. There's no finding of abuse or neglect, and records showed only that the child at one time was observed to have anxiety, once had an observance of a panic attack, left notes around the house, and wrote in a workbook that this demon image was scary, whatever that means. So here we are. I think Staver, this guy is the lawyer, and he said the majority of justices said that the order is hostile toward religion and that it used a nuclear option by taking all decision-making away from an unquestionably fit parent regarding the religious upbringing of her daughter. She said she would like to come to church and she misses her friends. This is a wild thing, dude. We got to move on. Just getting wound up. I don't even know. It's making my sedated brain hurt. So the Fugees rapper Pras Michael sentenced to 14 years in prison over illegal donations to Obama campaign. Talk about many years later. So he was sentenced Thursday 14 years in prison, in which he was convicted of illegally funneling millions of dollars in foreign contributions to President Obama back in 2012. Is Obama going to come to this man's rescue? Can he? Is Obama going to do a prison jihad and break this man loose? And he got 10 counts, including conspiracy and acting as an unregistered agent of a foreign government. That's why he took a bunch of money from a Chinese guy and then funneled it to Obama. The trial in Washington, D.C. included testimony from actor Leonardo DiCaprio. So Leonardo DiCaprio gave a testimony and dude, Leo couldn't even save him. In what world? I mean, Leo's star has fallen. If you can't even keep this guy out of prison, there are no movie stars anymore. I mean, this is a tragedy. Justice Department prosecutors said federal sentencing guidelines recommended a life sentence for Michael. Life sentence, who they said betrayed his country for money, lied unapologetically and unrelentingly to carry out his schemes. It's a weird word. It's really not. His sentence should reflect the breadth and depth of his crimes, they said. His defense said this is disproportionate to his offense. A life sentence would be absurdly high. Don't give him that. They didn't. So, I mean, this guy's got 2 Grammys. He's going to put him up in his prison cell. Polish him every day. Remember the time when he was free and he went to jail for Obama. So he obtained over $120 million. Okay, so it's not a Chinese man. It's Malaysian billionaire Low Take Joe. J-Ho Low, they call him. Joe. I mean, how do you pronounce that in Malaysia? J-H-O is his name. J-Ho. It's like J-Lo, but Ho. J-Ho Low. And so he took that money and steered some of that money through straw donors to Obama's campaign. And he tried to end a Justice Department. Michael also tried to end a Justice Department investigation of Lowe, tampered with 2 witnesses, and perjured himself at a trial. This guy's out of control. He's lost his mind. Lowe has lived in China. So he's Malaysian. He lives in China. Was one of the primary financiers of The Wolf of Wall Street. Interesting. A movie that stars DiCaprio. Okay. So DiCaprio went there and testified, probably on behalf of this guy and Lowe, because DiCaprio owes him a lot. You know he does. So Lowe is a fugitive, but has maintained his innocence. So Lowe's living in China, fugitive from our government, I think. And so get this is the best part. Lowe's motivation for giving Michael money to donate was not so that he could achieve some policy objective. Instead, Lowe simply wanted to obtain a photograph with himself and then President Obama. Bullshit. That's what I'm calling. Dude, you're a billionaire. Hop on a private plane, fly over, tell your people you want to meet Obama, take a photo with him. I don't think that any billionaire would have a problem being able to take a photo with anyone of political power anywhere in the world. Do you? I don't. So he's going to prison, 14 years. And what for what? What was what did he get after funneling money to Obama? Nothing. Sad, sad day. Then a senior citizen who saved himself from a would-be mugger is heading to prison because of New York's draconian laws. So a senior citizen who shot dead a man who tried to rob him will spend 4 years in prison after admitting to an unlicensed revolver. Yeah, because they said his lawyer's like, these are draconian gun laws. So Charles, 67, pleaded guilty to 1 count of criminal weapons possession Thursday in a deal to end his case more than 2 years after he fatally shot would-be thief Cody Gonzalez, who charged at him near his Kew Gardens home. So Gonzalez killed after he told cops that he defended himself from a mugger who lunged at him late night holding what looked like a knife, but which turned out to have been. You can kill someone with a pen, all right? Just look at Goodfellas. You think I'm funny? You think, what about me is funny? And then he stabs him in the neck with the pin till he dies. He could have done that to poor Charles. But prosecutors slapped Charles with a slew of weapons raps for the unlicensed handgun and for an arsenal of illicit handguns, revolvers, and rifles inside his quiet neighborhood. They won't even let people have guns to protect themselves in New York. Now there's a effing communist running things. A Muslim communist. Unbelievable. This is America. Charles took the plea deal to avoid a trial where he faced 25 years in prison on gun charges that are not hard to prove. So they said Charles was a hero who was put in an impossible position by what he called draconian Big Apple gun laws that make it difficult for law-abiding citizens to obtain permits to carry firearms. If this was a state and a city that had its affairs in order, he would be getting a plaque, not a prison sentence. I got to agree. After his arrest for the 2 a.m. killing on a driveway near his home on 82nd Avenue and Queens Boulevard, Charles told cops he'd been packing the silver revolver to protect himself from Big Apple crime. I highly doubt that Charles, while holding the pistol, was like, this is to protect me from Big Apple crime. He did not say Big Apple. This writer has embellished some of the facts for sure. He's going to jail, man. That's why New York sucks. you have to travel like a mole person through subways where people are like carrying chickens as pets and ferrets and rats, and they're pissing on themselves and eating poop. It's just a terrible, terrible life. Terrible life. And then we got Jelly Roll's daughter's reaction to the slimmed singer's shaved face. And he said that he hasn't shaved his face since he was in prison, I think. The last time my face was shaved, I was fresh out of jail. So he lost, like, before, like, Jelly Roll, he was big and jolly and filled with jelly, and now he is skinny and weathered with his face tattoos. And unfortunately, he just looks like a dude that you would see at Casey's at 1 a.m. in a city, or we'll just say gas station, any gas station, that you would see at a gas station at 1 a.m. that looked like he just hit the meth pipe. That's not fair to say. I'm looking at a picture of him now. He doesn't look that. I mean, if he didn't have the tattoos, it would just like legit look like normal man his age. But with the dramatic weight loss and then the shit stains that are permanent on his face, he just kind of looks like he doesn't look as big and jolly. He looks like he wants to sell me some meth behind a dumpster at a gas station. He was a big boy, though, dude. I'm looking at a picture of him here. And, I mean, he was a big, big boy. It's cool that he's lost over 200 pounds. I'm proud of him. Why would it matter if I'm proud of him or not? Oh, dude, this is a fun week, man. This is a fun week, and I'm looking forward to next week. And, do me a favor. Share this podcast with your friends and family when they're like, hey, man, I'm looking for a podcast to listen to. I'm bored and tired of all the other ones and want to move on to something better, bigger like Jelly Roll. Send them this, baby. Send them this. Have a beautiful weekend. God bless.